What is going on, everyone? It is Wednesday, pretty much an incredible day to get a chance to do some interviews for you guys here. I am Jake, host of the Fighting Now, and of course, host of these interviews, and yet I appreciate you guys get a chance to tuning in. We are so glad to get a chance to have you guys on because today is going to be a very special day. Today is going to be a very awesome interview because today we have Serena dejesus that's going to be joining me. And before we get a chance to have anything going on, let's go ahead and send a shout out to StreamYard. StreamYard is pretty much the platform for the Fighting Out, and of course many other podcasters or interviewers out there. Pretty much, StreamYard is the best place when it comes to doing interviews, doing your podcast, doing business meetings. And if you guys want to get a chance to check it out, head on over to StreamYard.com and try the free version today. You guys can get a chance to connect it to your Facebook, your YouTube, and Twitch. And StreamYard is such an amazing platform. So head on over to StreamYard.com right now. Check everything out. And of course, let's go ahead and send a shout out to our great friends at RMGFX1.com. They have so many gear. They have so many incredible merchandise. I'm trying to be able to get this straightened up, so hopefully it'll be good. But anyways, RMGFX1.com has some incredible gear. They have some amazing stuff for you guys to check it out, and I encourage you guys to head on over to their website and buy some Fighting Now gear. If you guys want to get a chance to save some money, use promo code FIGHTNOW to save 10% off your entire purchase. Once again, that is RMGFX1.com. Use promo code FIGHTNOW to save 10% off. Now, before we get to anything, I do want to tell you guys this. This has been a great week of interviews, and we still have more to come because tomorrow we have Savannah Graham that's going to be joining me, and then of course on the Jay and Trey podcast we have Kate Clemens that's going to be joining me this coming Friday. So I'm really looking forward. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to talk to Kate. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be very amazing to get a chance to talk to such an amazing fighter as all three, pretty much with Serena, Savannah, and of course Kate on Friday. But yeah, before we get a chance to move on with anything, let's go ahead and show some love. This time we're gonna do things different. Let's go ahead and send a shout out to Fight Bananas, pretty much crazy about fights. David Van Auken, who is behind all this, who has gotten a tremendous amount of team to work. Get a chance to cover fights. I know they'll be doing some coverage on the Covington and Jorge Masvidal fight this coming weekend. So, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be good, and I cannot wait to see how this is going to go between Jorge and, of course, Colby. So, make sure you guys check out Fight Bananas on Instagram and make sure to check everything out from them. This Air in the Booth by Air Media Productions. Air Media Productions has been doing so many incredible things, to say the least. They recently, hit 5K, and I gotta tell you, we're almost up to 4K. We're pretty much at 3,702 followers. So yeah, if you guys want to get a chance to join in with the Air Media family, this is your pretty much just a great opportunity. And of course, get a chance to follow yours truly at the Fighting Now on Instagram. But head on over to Instagram and follow Air Media Productions. Next up, we have Liz with the Z Podcast, Lisa Solar, who is just a tremendous person, a tremendous human being, and I can honestly say that she is pretty much a stepping stone for the media on the media side. And I can honestly tell you, I am very excited. I am very happy the fact that she's still getting the success that she deserves. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to have her. We'll get a chance to have her back later on in the next couple of months because I know she's going to be busy, and we'll get a chance to talk more about that in due time. And last but certainly not least, I want to send a huge shout out to Mom's Basement MMA. And the reason why I saved them for last is because they have pretty much helped me get this interview happening. Because while I was talking to them last week, I was like, is there anyone you think I need to suggest? And he told me about Serena. I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's like the interview with Serena. We made it happen, and hey, that's exactly what you're going to be seeing. So I've heard so many incredible things, and I gotta send shout out to Mom's Basement because they are just doing so many incredible things. They have their own merchandise, and yet I encourage you guys to go buy some gear. I know I'll definitely be hooking me up with some gear later on as well. But Mom's Basement MMA, if you guys want to get a chance to follow them, head on over to Instagram and type in Moms_Basement MMA. And of course, check everything out. Check out all the interviews that they've had over the last couple of weeks, especially on their YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to them too. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm very excited to get a chance to have Serena dejesus going to be joining me. And there's so many incredible things about this fighter. She fought for Invicta. You get what I mean. You get what I mean. And I feel like that, the stories that she's going to be sharing is going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. I mean, she had a tremendous amateur record, and of course, we'll get a chance to talk to her and get a chance to ask her about the pro side of things. So I am looking forward to this. I am really ecstatic to get a chance to have her to join me. And I will tell you this, it's going to be very amazing. It's going to be very incredible. And I gotta tell you this, she's also a fellow in there too. So I mean, if you guys have not got just to look at some of the Funkos, I mean, that should tell you. But I am really looking forward to get a chance to talk to her. We have so much we gotta talk about, and of course, I want to say thank you to those who have sent in your questions to her, especially on the Instagram side, because you guys have sent her some incredible questions. Definitely questions that she will definitely enjoy. And I am very, very excited to get a chance to talk to her, and of course we get a chance to find out more, and especially hopefully we'll get a chance to have some updates, especially with where she's going to go from here, because I know she's going to be keeping an eye on a lot of things, especially with Invicta next week, which they're going to be having their live event at around 8 o'clock on YouTube. So there's so much that we can get a chance to watch. There's so much that we can get a chance to talk about. And I am very excited to see where it's going to go from here. So real quick, let's go ahead and go to our first advertisement, and we'll be right back, okay? That is Armchair Booking. You guys can get a chance to check them out on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, and of course on TikTok. If you guys are a fan of the wrestling products, then yet I would love for y'all to get a chance to check them out. Awesome stuff, incredible guys. Steve Dwaylen, pretty much so many incredible individuals. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, they're awesome, and I cannot wait to see what is that best that's yet to come for Armchair Booking. So pretty much this is two out of pretty much the second interview today. For those who have missed it, we got a chance to interview Christine Vicens, who joined in on the Jay and Trey podcast on TSC Sports Talk, and it was so unique. It was definitely incredible because the story that she had, especially how she started fighting, was because of depression. And I really could say is that I really enjoy get a chance to sit down and get a chance to talk to her about her battles and about everything that she went through. And it seems like you started from the bottom and now you're here, and she's literally the definition. Not only that, but yet also Britain Hart Beltran is also a huge definition as well, because she shared so much with me this past Monday. And if you guys have missed that out, I encourage you guys to go check out right now on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, especially on the video. We would love to get a chance to have your feedback, especially who you guys want to see next. I have a lot in store for you guys. We have Lauren Garcia that's going to be joining me next Monday. We have Ashley Brim that's going to be joining me on Tuesday. And, of course, Ashley Blanco that's going to be joining me on Wednesday. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I mean, what more can you ask for, to say the least? I am excited. I am very – it's like pretty much I'm very honored to get a chance to have these interviews to happen. It's going to be very fun to watch, and I encourage you guys to make sure to check everything out, especially when it comes to to the YouTube side of things. Now, as far as the Instagram, we have been doing a lot of fighting shout outs. I just released the interview with Christine Vicens, so make sure you guys head on over to Instagram right now, the Fighting Now, and check everything out because I'm telling you guys, this is a huge family. This is an amazing family for all women's fighters out there. It is incredible. It is awesome to say the least. And I do appreciate all of the fighters who have got a chance to be a part of the page. And this is if you're a fighter that want to be recognized or get shouted out, this is a great opportunity. This is an incredible chance for you to say, hey, make sure to go follow this fighter because we've had so many different fighters from like bare knuckle to MMA to boxing, Muay Thai, I mean, to jiu-jitsu. There's so many incredible things that's happening with this page. And there's so much that we can be able to talk about. There's so many fights that is going to go on. I know this coming weekend at Conflict, I will get a chance to watch the event and get a chance to check out Amy Peduto's fight. In case you guys don't know who Amy Peduto is, she's an amazing fighter, and of course, shout out to her. Wish that fight a very good luck to both individuals. So much more to be talked about, and I think this is definitely going to be an incredible ride of amazing fighters and more to talk about, to say the least. So I am very excited about Serena. Serena is going to be joining me here very soon, ladies and gentlemen. So just sit tight. But yeah, just a lot of amazing interviews. This makes it now. It seems like now 4 weeks since we got a chance to do this, and it's just been awesome. It's just been awesome, and I definitely do appreciate you guys for hooking me up with this goal. So pretty much we now have hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, and it's very awesome. That is very awesome. So first of all, thank you guys for the love. Thank you guys so much for pretty much shouting the interviews out. I've been having a lot of fun doing them, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the interviews as well. It's definitely been a fun ride. It's definitely been fun. I mean, what more can you really ask for? What more can you really ask for, to say the least? And it's going to keep getting better and better from here. And I'm looking forward to so much that will go down for this coming weekend, next weekend, and of course, with later on to come here in a couple weeks. But yet, and that was it. Either way, though, keep that in mind is that it's going to be a lot of fun to do more interviews. And if there's any other fighter, or even get a chance to have a podcast, or even someone from the radio side that you guys want to see in the StreamYard studios with me, please send them my way. I would love to get a chance to talk to all these amazing fighters, and there's just so many incredible stuff, to say the least. But yeah, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we still have one more advertisement we got to be able to get a chance to do before we get Serena on here. So just give us 1 second, all right? All right, y'all. This is the moment you guys have been waiting for. Please help me welcome in the one, the only Serena dejesus.
Hey everybody! Oh man, I'm not I'm okay. I'm clearly not having the best hair day today, but it don't matter.
Trust me. Every time if I wake up, you see this looking like a porcupine or looking like alfalfa. So trust me, I know the struggle, to say the least. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just got back from practice not too long ago with my striking coach Marvin Eastman, so I'm trying to recover a little bit before I do some practice later tonight.
Well, I definitely do appreciate you getting a chance to join me. And before we get a chance to get started with the questions, you told me about this on Instagram, is that you was glad I got a chance to pronounce your name right because someone at one of your fights called you Serena dejesus. What happened? What happened?
Okay, so last summer, I was fighting Liz Phillips over at Fusion Fight League. And when they announced me, the announcer said Serena dejesus to the blue corner. I'm just like, man, I love Fusion Fight League. Don't get me wrong; they are like arguably one of the best promotions I fought for. Like, and I'm really excited to see their growth. It was just that little mishap, and I get it. There's not many people with who are Puerto Rican or whatnot out there. So I mean, but at the same time, it's like, my God, your state is literally Spanish for mountains. So like, can we get with the times? But this is something I've grown up used to. Like, some people who just don't know will say it that way, and it's whatever. Like, I'll probably
Yeah.
butcher somebody's name too, so I'm not even stressing. It's just one of those moments. I kind of
Uh,
my preparation for, like, my ready to walk out moment. I'm just like, what, the hell with it. We'll just get going.
it's just like, I'm in the zone. It's like, okay, you pretty much butchered my name, but that's why I made sure that I would not butcher it because I'm like, she would kill me if I call her Serena de Jesus. I'm like, okay, that's why I had to message you before, to say the least. But first of all, I want to say welcome to the StreamYard Studios, and second of all, it is definitely an honor to get a chance to have you a part of this interview. I've heard so many incredible things about you from Mom's Basement MMA. They told
Nice.
me how amazing you are and how much of an incredible nerd you are, to say the least, from what they told me.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm all up in that anime. I'm like an MCU fan, and I do read a lot of the Marvel comics too when I was growing up. So, I'm all over the place. Obviously, huge Godzilla nerd. I mean, we all know this. So,
But hey, which by the way, you actually do have a Godzilla question later on after this. So
ooh,
yeah, you do got a Godzilla question. But for anyone who doesn't know, you have been doing so many incredible things. But it's about the start of your amazing journey. So what inspired you to start fighting?
okay. So, like everybody knows, I'm a huge nerd. Growing up in the
Yeah.
90s, I would get anime from the video store every Friday for behaving. My dad would get UFC. I had no idea what UFC was. I didn't care. I got my anime. I loved Sailor Moon. I loved the Power Rangers, and I loved fighting video games. Like, I'd be playing I guess Streets of Rage does kind of count because it's a beat 'em up. So but I really love Street Fighter and Tekken. And my favorite, so I'm that 6-year-old kid 6-year-old kid playing Tekken, and I freaking love King because I'm thinking, oh my God, it's a leopard man. How cool. Lo and behold, I find out later on he's a luchador. And I'm like, whatever. Still my main character to this day playing Tekken. So, by the way, I will smoke y'all. Moving on. So, I come down one day and my dad's watching UFC, and it's the Gary Goodridge and Paul Herrera fight, that infamous one. So that whole transition to the crucifix was like how you input commands in tech. Even the first Tekken game, you could technically initiate a takedown and start getting on top of your opponent and punching him and stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, that whole, like, transition to grappling to strikes that Gary Goodridge did is exactly the stuff I liked at Tekken. So I decided to watch MMA, become a huge fan of it. And I'm watching like IFL, I'm watching Elite XC, WC Wreckage, Pride, obviously. And so I'm watching all the promotion, Strike Force and stuff that I can. And then when, I'm starting to see women enter the scene, I'm like, oh, cool, because finally the doors are opening. But I always was a fan. So after high school ended, because I did athletics in high school, like I did softball, and I also was kind of in the softball girls tend to get big. So I had a little bit powerlifting added to the mix.
Mhm.
So after high school ended, I'm like, if I go to college and to work alone, I will go ballistic. So I found a local gym near me that taught jujitsu and Muay Thai. So, because I wanted to be that educated fan, I didn't want to be that fucker in the bar who's going like, "Oh, twist his dick" or some stuff like that. Instead, I'm just like, let me go see this. So my first jujitsu and Muay Thai classes turned to my first like grappler's quests, and my first jujitsu tournaments ended up leading my first Muay Thai fights, which in turn led me to start MMA. And then when that happened, I became was friends with Roxanne Modafferi, and we started trading together, and we became best friends. So my life took me away from Philadelphia all the way out here to Las Vegas, and it has been a time.
Wow, that is very incredible to say the least. And by the way, I do want to send a shout out to Roxanne Modafferi because That woman is just so incredible, especially the legacy that she will leave behind after she got done with her fight, and very amazing person to say the least.
I got some big shoes to fill. Let's just say, to say the least. She's really like one of the best human beings out there. She won't curse people out or say bad words, so I normally fill in that role for her.
So pretty much it's like whenever it comes to you two, she's the PG one, and you're just like you don't care who you are, you're just gonna cuss them out, to say the least.
Basically, but that's the way to be. At least no one has to guess what my intents or what I'm thinking. Believe me, you'll know.
Oh yeah, to say the least, for sure. So you pretty much train at Extreme Couture and Legend MMA. How much have you learned since you joined the team?
I learned a lot. I first went there because some weird things happened after my last fight at my previous team. Um, I went and helped Nisha, who's been a friend of mine for a while, and then I found out I was kicked out behind my back through my striking coach Marvin Eastman, and yeah, that was crazy. So I hit up my friend Jesse Jess, who actually helped me out and talked to Eric Nixick of Extreme Couture, and he's an excellent dude. He opened his gym up to me, you know. And it's been nice because even though I was kind of worried because one of my previous opponents, Taylor Bordado, was there, and it's so fun because she's really nice to me. We're kind of having a little bit of a Rocky and Apollo mode. Like we beat each other's ass, and now we're teammates and we're cool and we help each other. So you know what? I really like her. Not that I ever liked her before. There was like one time I did an attempt of talking shit, and it wasn't it. I just pretty much dissed her taste in cheeseburgers because, like, I believe Whataburger is still better than In and Out. I know I'm gonna say this is gonna be blasphemy to some folks, but when you go to
Oh
Houston
boy.
and you get a real deal Whataburger, I mean, I still love In and Out, but I think Whataburger is way better. Because in 2020, we all needed some money and we all needed some fights. And
Yeah.
you know what? What more than I thought at the time would be to like find a way to hype excitement to run it back with Taylor. But she went up to 55 and she made that back. So you know what? Go her. You know?
Yeah.
Because let's be real, that overhand she threw to Kayla Harrison, like any other human being, because she like whipped her hip into that fucking punch. And I would have done more to anybody else versus breaking Kayla's nose. I would have like iced somebody, and I wholeheartedly believe that if it was anybody else other than Kayla Harrison.
Well, considering the fact that I'm from what people call as armpit of America, I never really tried a Whataburger or an In-N-Out burger unless if I have to really go down there. So
Look,
I'll
you
definitely.
got Wawa, so you're okay. I miss Wawa. I don't have Wawa out here, which is some bullshit. I went to Miami once, and I got a lift right to a Wawa, and the driver's looking at me like I'm insane, going like, "You got a lift to go to the Wawa?" I'm like, "You don't understand." And then I had to explain to him. And he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a place like that. There's a place from my country that's up in here, and I go there too." I'm like, "See, you understand."
Yeah, I don't even think West Virginia even has a Wawa, but I'll definitely have to look it up to say the
Oh,
least.
yeah, West Virginia doesn't have a Wawa. That's right. When I hear armpit of the United States, I was thinking New Jersey. I'm like, "Oh yeah, they do have Wawa there."
No,
Bad.
no. It's pretty much what my friends call it. Bumfucked Egypt is what people call it. That's literally the way that they describe it. It's like I talked to my friends from
Ooh.
Kentucky, and it's like, "Oh yeah, you're from BFE." I'm like, "What's BFE?" "Oh, bumfuck Egypt." I'm like, No, no, but okay, okay." The only
Awful, but
thing
I'm sorry for laughing. That's awful, but that's hilarious.
you're good, you're good. I'll tell my buddy Trey that he thought that was pretty funny to say the least. Oh man, but you pretty much started to get a chance to join in a brand new team, and of course we gotta talk about the training part. And there's been so many different aspects on how you as a fighter feel about training. You think of what would be the most difficult part. So, in your own opinion, what has been the most difficult part about training?
Cutting weight when I can't eat what I want because I mean that's the hardest part for anything. But that stuff makes me mad. That's why I'm so angry when I fight people. I just hit them and I think this is for every fucking taco, every fucking ice cream and thing that I have been deprived, and it's all your fault. And that's why I'm so angry when I fight. It's just like me and Derek Lewis. I kind of relate with him. Like if you mess with my ability to eat, you mess with my money. I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to make sure you feel it.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that. I'm dead. I am dead. Just like when you first said, like for every punch, that's for that taco. For every punch, that's for that strawberry milkshake. For every
Exactly.
take, for every takedown, that's for that chocolate cake. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Disciplines and everything, but I'm gonna make. But the thing is, people don't know the separation between motivation and discipline.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't fought for 6 months, and that's through no fault of my own. I tried to fight for Tough Enough for the Pro Am card that's happening next week, and according to the matchmaker, who told my manager they couldn't find anybody. So my thing is, I haven't fought, so I'm not motivated, but
Hmm.
I'm dedicated to keep myself ready. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how it's because everyone is like, oh, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna be so motivated. They don't talk about the days or the weeks when motivation leaves you. You have to just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, Joe, it's like you're trying to prepare yourself. You just mentioned it. It's been 6 months, you got a chance to fight, and it's like you're ready for whoever. If there's a fight that's going say coming up next weekend, take it because that goes to show how much you're prepared and how much you're motivated to do whatever fight, no matter who it is. Just be ready just in case.
Yeah, do that. And if you're ready, just make sure you don't get offered any BS deals either. So that's the other thing people don't talk about. So,
Yeah, well, which we'll definitely have to talk about that in a different conversation, to say the least. So
mhm.
yet, you talked about weight cutting, and yet, I've always wanted to get a chance to ask, as far as the mental aspect of training. I mean, how do you handle that?
So the mental aspect, I learned to not like keep all my emotions in. Like, I
Hmm.
talk to my coaches if I feel weird. I have a mental coach, Caleb Rogers, mental sensei, I talk to a bit. Just I'm learning to communicate more because my biggest hurdles, I think, is that I used to shove all my emotions down and just kind of keep a poker face all the time. But no one, but you put the bottle under pressure, eventually the top will. So I realized that, it's okay to feel my feelings more and be human. Because anybody who doesn't feel all the things, that go into fighting, then they're probably a robot.
Yeah,
So, and I've just realized that it's okay to be, human a bit more. And
yeah,
that's what I'm doing. So, and now that I have people that I'm talking to who understand kind of how, the background noise in my head and everything, it's been nice because I've been with coaches who give you very generic cookie cutter advice that end up don't working and then look at you like you got three heads and wonder why it's not working. Or they'll be like, oh, you'll figure it out. It's like, I'm not coming to you to figure it out. I'm coming to you to have me fix it, to help me learn and understand because I will not learn and understand on my own, clearly.
yeah, absolutely. And of course, when I think about this, and I pretty much tell this to any other person I talk to, it's like, when those who fight on the mental aspect, who doesn't fight in the cage, who doesn't fight in the ring, it's kind of like, what you guys are doing now. You guys are training to be the best that you possibly can. And when I think about the mental aspects, it's like for someone who faces depression and how the obstacles they're going to go through, it's like you guys have gone through more obstacles than what people expected to. It's more than just get in the cage and be locked up and fighting. It's all about how you got to train, the weight cut, and how you got to motivate yourself. Because if you don't motivate yourself, you're not going to last long in the sport.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm also learning to have more fun because there's times that fighters, they're so focused on their training. They do what I call paranoia training. You ever see those posters like every day you stop, you're not training, your potential rivals are getting better than you? There is some truth to a degree to that. But then the opposite side of that is you also risk serious burnout. So I'm not
Mhm.
saying don't train hard, but remember to live to be a human being. Like, there's something actually my mom of all people kind of hit me with. She's like, Serena, what are your favorite hobbies outside of fighting? And I'm just like, because I like anime and I like comics and video games. But the thing is, they're all sedentary activities. Will
Mhm.
I, kind of have an escape from everything I do? Yeah. But I also like hiking, getting outside because if you keep doing the same things over and over again, you start becoming the hamster on the wheel. And then that's a definite surefire way to not be motivated. So I like to get outside. I like to hike. I like to go see new things, you know, just keep my mind stimulated and active.
Yeah, and this is something that, and I'll admit this too, is like, When I'm in my room, I'm always trying to focus on the interviews, and I'm trying to be able to work on stuff for the fighting now. And it's like, if you spend too much time in here, what are you doing? You're trying. First of all, you're overdoing yourself, and two, you're not getting a chance to enjoy the life like you just mentioned. Like for me, I'm either doing like broadcasting for like video games, or just listening to music, or going outside in general. So if you're trying to be involved with something that you're passionate about, it's okay to get involved, but at the same time, it's best not to overdo yourself. It's best to take some time for yourself instead of putting in so much in one week, you know?
Exactly. And that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm not in camp. Like, I do a lot of stuff with my striking coach, and then I'll come in, for sparring days and some of the grappling days too when I can, because I'm also working and stuff. Like, I'm finally back to teaching kids again and whatnot, which is a blessing because like that got taken away too when I left my old gym.
Mhm.
But it's great because I love giving back. Like I'm the oldest of four kids, and I guess it kind of rubs off when I start teaching the students because I want them all to be successful. Like I don't care if they ever compete or not. What I ultimately want is them to be safe and to feel like they can protect themselves if something happens.
That is very, very awesome. That is very, very incredible. And I'm glad you get a chance to do that. Well, there's something that really keeps us going. There's always something that either inspires us or gives us that encouragement to get up out of bed and continue with what you're doing. So, what has been your biggest encouragement, especially with what you're trying to do today?
So my biggest encouragement is like I feel like I am great. Like I just took like last summer I just took out two UFC veterans, Elizabeth Phillips, and I took it and I fought and did a really fucking good job. I'd like to think against Laura Mueller, and those two fights were only separated between 3 weeks of each other. Because as soon as I beat Liz, I'm thinking, yeah, I get to relax, get to enjoy my summer vacation. And then my manager, Sean Rockwell, was like, "Oh hey, one of the girls got outed because she got sick. This fight's in 3 weeks against UFC veterans." So I'm like, but it's a UFC veteran, so I wanted to go kick her ass. So the opportunity was there, and I took it, and gave me this nice, beautiful haircut I got today, to this day, which I love. So I was 3 ounces over. I had a bob at the time. The fight before with Liz Phillips, the scale was a little weird. So, but I didn't feel like arguing, so I cut it from like shoulder length like I used to a bob. And then at Invicta, we couldn't leave the hotel whatsoever. We were confined to the property. My sensory shit. I cannot deal with baths anymore. Like I feel sick. It sucks. At least in the sauna, I feel a little refreshed, even if I'm miserable.
Hmm.
But like I said, I couldn't do the normal sauna, which I normally set to like 170 because I just want to cook and get it all off me fast.
Yeah.
But this portable sauna I got was only went to 144, and clearly math is not my strong suit. So I had 1 minute to make weight and 3 ounces over. So I told my mom, just cut my fucking hair. Because you know what? Hair is temporary. Glory is eternal. And I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
myself professional. So and she was
But
me too. Like poor Lauren, like I was seeing her run at like 10 in the evening the night before, and she was 135.8, so she wasn't that far off behind me too.
yeah.
So
Well, I
you
will.
know, it's really awesome.
Which I will say, and I'm not trying to mock you, but your hair is gorgeous to say the least.
Thank you. That and I finally changed up my frames. I had those small rectangular frames for about a decade, so now we're going big, and I feel great. I feel like I'm more youthful and like I dress up more now. It's nice.
I mean, you feel like a brand new person all over again, especially with what you got, to say the least.
It's so funny though, because like the whole tradition says like when a woman cuts her hair, she's going through a dramatic life change. The life change happened before I even knew. So
But hey, you're still looking good doing it, to say the least. So,
yeah,
but
exactly. I love it. And I don't have to worry about my hair getting in my face in the middle of practice anymore. Now I see why Thug Rose went buzz buzz. I'm starting to think I'm going to be like the reverse Samson. The more hair I lose, the more powerful I get. So let me get Thug Rose. If I become Thug Rose styled with my hair, it's over for everybody. Probably.
I feel sorry for your next opponents if that's the case. I feel sorry for
No,
them.
I'm not going any shorter than this if I can help it. I like my curls.
And as long as you get a chance to practice and not have hair in your eyes and just get a chance to focus on punching someone, then yeah, you're good to go. You're definitely
Yeah,
good to go.
that's what I'm at right now. It's great.
Well, you know what? We got a chance to talk about that, and of course, we're going back to your amateur days. You had a 5-2 on your record. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yet, do you ever just look back on your amateur record and think about what you had to do to get where you are today?
No, not really. In the beginning of the amateurs, it was kind of simple. Like it's like, you don't have to pay amateurs. So a lot of promotions like, hey, you got a girl to fight? Do you have a girl to fight? Like they went to they would go to each gym like, hey, you got a girl who can fight at this or this. And I'm always just like, hi. So, and 35 back in the amateur career was really experiencing a heyday because 135 back in the day, I feel was the it division to be in because it was one of the few at the time. Nowadays, I feel like bantamweights hardly get any love anymore because now the focus is on 115 and 125, and now we're starting to see the rise of the bigger girls at like 155 and 145. I mean, I don't think they're even getting as much love as they should either. But bantamweights, I think, especially with the opening of flyweight, has become a little bit more neglected lately. Like, if, correct me if I'm wrong, I think almost every single girl in the UFC at bantamweight is ranked almost because of how few there are in comparison what it is. So it was pretty easy for me to find fights. I just wish I found a coach that actually knew how to work with mental preparation than I did, because everything was all left to me. And on top of the mental work, I have to like rein in my sensory stuff, not get overwhelmed by whatever. Because on top of, fight nerves, we got like my sensory stuff with me being autistic, I got to worry about too. So I have to do it a completely different dance than like pretty much any other fighter does.
Hmm. That's very crazy to say the least, especially with all that you have to go through. And I've noticed that too, especially with like the bantamweights and the flyweights. Like they're getting a lot of credit to where credit's due, and I feel like 135 should get some love as well. I mean, you would think that y'all would get a chance to have that motivation to get the recognition you deserve, to say the least, right?
Hmm. But I mean, we'll see. Like I said, it's been 6 months since my last fight. I'm like seeing all my other friends fight. I'm just like, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except still having to watch my homegirl Roxy fight Casey O'Neill. I had to be Switzerland in that. That sucked all the way around because like my dream for 5 years was to like walk out with Roxy, be in the corner for her last fight. But because Casey O'Neill was my teammate, I can't do that. It's just not ethical. It's just not right. I couldn't even go see my friend fight, but it was okay because they need her and her fiance, now fiance, go her, yay! She's getting married and she's getting married soon. I can't wait. And yeah, they were. I needed to help watch their house and all that stuff. So at least to some capacity, I was there to help. It
I
wasn't
mean, at
an
least
ideal way, but I did something.
at least you got a chance to be able to do something awesome for Roxy, and I know she definitely does appreciate you.
Yeah,
And
but you know what? Casey O'Neill's a cool cat. Like I like me. I never have to guess what she's thinking, and I think it's beautiful. And she's a fiery one fighting. Like I sparred her once. It was awesome. And it's like, man, this little girl likes to scrap. I love her already.
so whenever I watched,
But
what's
like
up?
that whole fight is that fight did hurt for me, but it was just like Roxy's had her time in the sun. She did her
Mhm.
dance and she was telling me even before all this nonsense happened where we couldn't train together anymore that she really hoped the UFC would have given her a really tough like a tough opponent for her to like be in a blaze of glory for. So you know what? Casey O'Neill fit the bill, and you know what? She did. She went in. They went in, and it was a great fight overall. So
And this is just something that I told a couple of people about, especially for those who I do the JHA podcast with, is that Joe. This fight shouldn't have been a part of the prelims, in my opinion. This should have been on the main card because this was
agree.
Roxy's last fight. Because yo,
Her last dance should have been, but I'm not in charge of things.
yeah, unfortunately, none of us are these days, and I feel like that, Joe.
I'm in charge of these ass whippings. That's what I'm in charge of.
Well, and I definitely do respect that. Well, the one thing I definitely want to ask you is that you've had some good times, but you've also had some tough times, to say the least. What has been the toughest obstacle that you have faced in your fighting career?
The toughest thing I've dealt in my fighting career is honestly everything that happened to me last fall. It's just like you go from somebody who's been helpful and loyal to a place for 6 years, and then honestly, through no fault of your own, you lose everything and almost become a pariah of sorts. And then you find out who really has your back and who was just playing you the entire time. And it kind of hurts to find out who's really got your back that way and who really was just like fair weathered.
Yeah.
So it did show me a lot on who I need to keep close. And it was something that actually my teammate Christopher Curtis really drilled into my head. And I'm very grateful to him for that. You
Mm-hmm.
don't you don't be loyal to a team in name only. You be loyal to the people who show their loyalty to you. And that's an important thing that isn't talked about. Like you can be loyal to a team, but if that team is not really having your best interest in mind or is keeping you on the back burner, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you got people who are being disrespectful to you, it's just like how long are you going to be loyal to a team like that? So
Yeah.
when I found out who really were my people and really who has my back and are genuine people, I
Mm-hmm.
felt a lot better. But that's something I feel like that amateurs fall into, that even as you can see, even professionals fall into, you know? So that was hard for me. And I had to really take a step back from everything. I had to take a step back from like my social media. I had to take a step back in my life, period, just to like kind of let it all out because that shit pissed me off,
Yeah.
because I lost access to one of my favorite striking coaches, Mike Kyle, who me and him are still cool with to this day. It's just I can't train with him because he coached at Syndicate, and I can't ask that dude to put all, me above his students that are still there. I can't
Yeah.
ask him to put me above a job that provides for his wife and his kid. I just can't do it. I'm just
Uh-uh.
happy we're still cool and we're still friends after everything.
I'm definitely glad that you guys get a chance to talk because that's just really crazy, and I hate that you had to go through that. But hey, real quick before I can even continue, you also have a comment from Justin, who I do the Jay and Trey podcast with. He said line them up and set them down, and he
I have
also said.
a good habit of that.
And he also said, at the end of the day, your team isn't in the ring fighting. You're fighting your fight. Loyalty to yourself first is key.
And that is it. And that's something I've been setting. Like I have been beginning lately to put everybody in their place. Like my thing is I try to see the best in everybody. I know what it's like to be, not an outcast, but like kind of shooed away because growing up being autistic, like people suck,
Yeah,
So I don't want people to feel the hurt that I went through,
yeah,
So I try to be nice and inclusive to everybody. But unfortunately, there are going to be some parasites who take advantage of that and then will just use you and just kick you to the curb. So Justin's absolutely right on that. And there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with putting yourself first. It's not selfish,
Amen.
especially if you're out there helping other people. You have to do you.
Yeah, amen. And by the way, real quick, I definitely do appreciate Justin, who is commenting right now. I think he might be on his break, so thank you, Justin, for what you're doing. Definitely do appreciate you a lot, to say the least. And what we've also got a chance to talk about this is that we talked about your amateur side. Let's talk about the pro side real quick because I'm not even gonna
Is
get.
out from a doozy. Holy shit.
Well, the
Happened out of my control, I believe, in the beginning of my amateur career. And now that I have, like I said, the right team, I'm starting to find my footing a little bit.
yeah,
So I had my pro debut against Kelly Clayton, and then that fight was fun until she turned around and accused me of eye poking her on purpose when she ran into my downward club's hand because this makes it easier to like pull your damn hands out my way. Because I'm blind as shit as it is without these. Like if I see this, like when I'm without my glasses, I'm squinting across the cage trying to see what's going on, but people think it's me mugging. Not as much as you think, but sure, whatever you want to believe.
yeah,
But so then she went to the promotion and requested to have my win overturned to a no contest, and then also claimed the promotion was shifting with the timer for the fight. I'm just like, what? I mean, and then the promotion didn't fulfill the request for it to be overturned. So then she kind of turned on me, said I was dirty, and then like was being rude to the promoter and the matchmaker. I'm like, dude, don't do this to yourself. Don't screw yourself over like this. But I'm not responsible for everybody else. Like your friend Justin said, I am responsible for myself.
Hmm.
Then I had a former teammate who I really thought was nice, but apparently she has a history of being fake nice, according to Jessica I, for my labrum after accusing me of being too competitive. She got me in a really fast Kimura and ripped my shit. So I was out for 19 months because first I didn't know it was a labrum tear. I've never had a traumatic injury like that before. I'm
Hmm.
thinking like it's a muscular thing, it'll recover. But then after 2 months, it didn't recover. So then I went to healthcare out here in Las Vegas is not great. I'm used to Philadelphia, standard quality of care, which is great. So I go and get an MRI. They do the wrong MRI, it turns out, and they thought I had tendonitis. Go get
Hmm.
rehab, doesn't work. Go back, get a recommendation, go to a specialist. Specialist finds out it's a labrum tear, and it was ugly. So I had to go under the knife for that. So the day after the turkey gets carved, I get carved into to fix my shoulder. And then it took me November, December. It took me 3 months to recover from that to be cleared. And so I'm still training. I'm getting all the weight off because when you can't do much to jostle your shoulder. I mean, the weight's
Yeah.
going to come back on a little bit. And then I was supposed to fight Kayla Yontef, who is now my homie, which is cool.
Yeah.
Then, but poor Kayla was having a hard time making 35 and she broke her foot. So then Tanisha Tennant stepped in and I don't run, I fucking hate cardio. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I was arguably in probably one of the more weaker conditions of my body and mind there.
Yeah.
Tanisha as the first lanky person I have ever encountered. So that was cool. And I had to figure that out. And it was a new piece of the puzzle I had to figure out. Even though I lost, it was a good fight. And now it's just motivated. She's the mountain I have to climb over now. So
Yeah.
eventually we're going to find each other again because that was my intent during that Invicta tournament. I'll find her again eventually, and then she'll see what
Yeah.
3 years of hard work looks like.
And real quick before I continue on, you also have another comment from Justin, and he said, "I am blind without my glasses. LOL. I wrestled in high school, and I can say it's not the easiest thing in the world, not seeing what you're doing. But once you get things down, it's really fun. LOL."
Honestly, if I get any more blinder, I'm going to be like Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like I have to feel the vibrations on the floor and feel what people are doing, and then just like beat them that way. I already got the sarcasm part down, so
I mean, at least you got that done to say the least. And real quick, you talked about. I'm trying not to butcher the promotion's name, Invicta, but yet, you have got a chance to fight a couple of fights from down there. Talk about your experience, and yet, are you going to be keeping an eye on the big events that's happening next Wednesday?
for Invicta,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been interesting. I have one fight left on my contract with them, but it's been a time. Um, I think like after Tanisha Tennant, like I'm hoping that the promotion was seeing some stuff in me because then I got invited back to the Phoenix Series tournament. At first, I was an alternate, but four girls had to drop out for me to be put into the main contention. I think that fight I started showing people what I could do because was matched up against Carrie Kenniston, and Carrie Kenniston was if I remember right, was a title challenger or in
Hmm.
contention for it at one point, and literally everybody was discounting me. Like even I could hear people up on the stage, like the official, like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good fight." So of course, this was me training with Marv 2 weeks, literally. Marv, my striking coach, Marvin Eastman. Nobody at Syndicate could corner me. And
Hmm.
I was in classes here and again, so I'm like, we didn't have such we had like a bond, like we were acquaintances, we knew each other. But
Yeah.
this man jumped up on 2.5 weeks' notice, not only to coach me, but to teach me his style of Muay Thai, because I thought I knew good Muay Thai.
Hmm.
After seeing what Marv showed me, no, there is so much to learn, and that is my motivation that excites me every day. I love striking. I grapple because if you can't grapple, don't throw kicks. Because
Amen.
guess what this is going to do? They're going to grab that shit and take you down. So that's the
Hmm.
other thing. If I'm going to do good Muay Thai, I better learn how to grapple. And blessed Roxy for that because man, Roxy when I first started would throw me around like a damn chew toy, you know. But toward the end, we negated everything on each other. It was fun. But yeah, after that fight, like I thought I did really good with Perry, and then I don't know, like she's got a tough chin. I tried to finish her there, and I could have a few times with when I look back on the thing, but I didn't
No.
see it at the time. And then that fight with Taylor was fun too. Like I knew she was a wrestler, and I'm just
Mm.
like, man, you are not doing that grappling shit with me. And my goal to just basically knee and elbow everybody in my way to death who wants to grapple me. And the judging went the way it was, and Taylor did a good fight with Tanisha. I mean, I was disappointed I didn't get to see Tanisha in the finale, but like I said, I'll find her soon. We're fated to fight each other again
Oh
and
yeah.
again and again, and it's going to be great.
And it's going to be incredible to say the least. And yet, I think
Mhm.
a lot of people. I've got a chance to talk to a lot of people who got involved with Muay Thai, and how much has Muay Thai helped you, especially as a fighter that you are today?
I think it helped a lot because you know what? My original plan, and this was like, fired up 18, 19-year-old me. It's like, man, I want to be the scariest woman in Muay Thai, and then I'll become an MMA fighter. But
Yeah,
the problem was back in Philadelphia, after I broke my second amateur opponent's ribs with a knee, it was really hard in the local area to find any fights there. So I had my blue belt in jujitsu because since I was paying a membership, I was gonna do jujitsu and my Muay Thai because I view grappling like vegetables. It may not be necessarily your favorite thing to do, but it is helpful and it is good for you. So that's
yeah,
why I grapple. While striking, boxing is like the stake of everything. And
yeah.
boxing has also really changed things up for me too. Like when I saw how boxers rotate their hips and their shoulders for their punches more than any other pugilistic sport for obvious reasons because it's just punching, I'm like, holy crap. Now this explains why the power is generated and everything because I'm now seeing that there's so many MMA fighters who just throw arm punches. And it's not through any fault of their own. They're not boxers, or they at least don't have a boxing background. When you
Hmm.
see boxers, when you see how they put their shoulders in, they have their rotation, it's gorgeous. It is art, and I love it.
That is very awesome. And of course, think about talk about really good examples as far as those who went from boxing to MMA. You talk about Holly Holm. I mean, you see how her punches are. You've seen how how her
Amanda,
striking can be. Yeah,
yeah,
I
Amanda
mean,
Serrano's one. And
I
it's
mean,
good because, and I'm really happy for Amanda Serrano because, I remember when she was just boxing. But now she's in all these other like MMA promotions. She's holding her own quite well.
yeah.
So neat to see. And Clarissa Shields is another one. You know, for someone who has not done MMA practice for that long, she's not bad. It's
No,
really
she's not.
and her ethic is impressive.
She's really incredible to say the least, and I think she's going to keep getting better and better, especially with what she's trying to do. And I want to get a chance to ask you a really good question. So, yeah, you have been a part of MMA. You got a chance to be a part of this for so long. What has been the best part about the sport, in your own opinion?
The, the best part about this sport for me
Yeah.
is finding it's really inclusive. Like I grew, being autistic and growing up, you don't really find too many places to fit in. Like in high school and college, I was more in you know, the anime club. I've been in international clubs just because I'm a nice, easygoing person. I don't want to I just want to vibe. I want to vibe with everybody and all my surroundings. I don't need no extra shit. So, but as I got, into MMA, it's an icebreaker. No matter, I can talk to anybody because they're all there for the same purpose that I'm there for. So we got
Yeah.
that. Also, for me, it's beneficial because it's a set place, it's a set time every day, so that's so easy for me. And also, another thing, like I didn't know this was a thing until I read about it from the National Institute of Health, but apparently martial arts training period helps the executive function in the brain of autistic. So I'm like, well, damn, this life was meant for me after all,
Yeah.
you know.
Eh,
So I might as well take advantage of it until I'm all old and everything, and then I don't know, tell kids that I teach the story, like when I was your age, this was fighting for us, you know.
Oh man, and I really think, and I keep telling people anytime that goes through a mental battle, because I mean, I don't know if you really see it, but I always try to remind myself that everyone's a warrior in their own way, and that like it don't matter if you're autistic or if you're fighting through depression, anxiety, whatever it may be. Go to an MMA gym, go to a jiu-jitsu gym, go to some sort of gym because you know
Mhm.
when you walk in, you're going to feel like a different person. You get a chance to have the
Yeah,
friends that you don't expect to have. You get a chance to do something that is good for you and make you a better person today.
exactly. And you know what? It's nice to have a safe space, which is very interesting when you think about it. It's like the safe place is where you and your friends are hitting each other and like choking each other and everything. It's so ironic, but it's so true.
Well, not only that, but yeah, you also got to think about those who also have like anger issues. They can release whatever it is that has been built up inside them. Sorry for the stutter, but yet they can release all the anger that they have just by one punch. It's like if they get bullied at school, then yeah, once when they start hitting that punching bag, it's like boom, start hitting it, they start feeling better. And I really think
Mhm.
that people need to go and help, go do what is so incredible. Go be a part of combat sports or jiu-jitsu, whatever it may be, because in the long life, it can help you in due time.
I agree.
Well, yeah, and this is something that I really want to get a chance to bring this up is that how much does it mean to you knowing the fact that you are the first pro autistic female fighter?
It means a lot because I was a child in the 90s. And it was really hard being autistic in the 90s because first and foremost, nobody knew what autism was, really. ADHD was the thing that everybody was focusing on. Like it was hence like I was 4 years old and these doctors were like, yeah, like to my mom, yeah, give your kid some Adderall, which is what is Adderall, everybody? It's legalized meth. You literally look at it, you look at the ingredients and you'll see methamphetamine salts in it. So it's like,
What?
oh, so you're just giving it's okay to just give your kid meth to like calm them the fuck down. Yeah, no shit. A 4 year old's gonna run around and do all sorts of shit. But as we got into the early 2000s, because I'm a kid who is an undiagnosed autistic being put on medicines that are antipsychotics for all these different. They thought I had bipolar. They thought I had multiple personalities, or like everything under the sun. They're throwing at me. So when you're giving a kid who doesn't even know what the fuck is going on, who doesn't need psych meds, you're giving them psych meds, they're gonna go nutty because you're fucking with their brain chemistry.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's put me into psych wards. It has made me get a long-term guest at some residential treatment facilities. So and back in time, like juveniles can take a plea deal to be put in mental institutions versus juvenile hall, at least where I was at. So
Yeah.
now I'm being stuck in all these unsavory places with unsavory people. And how am I supposed to learn how to socialize? I feel like there's so much gaps in like my social skills, like knowing how to navigate around people because of that. And even though like when I was 13 and finally diagnosed, after being taken off the meds and observed by a psychologist on in the place I was at,
Hmm.
and they figured out I was autistic, I had a case manager until I was 20 years old. I'm now 30. I'm only 10 years without basically a Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder, helping me figure out how people are because when I was growing up, if it wasn't happy, angry, or sad, it would fly right over my head. I didn't understand sarcasm, which is interesting because now I'm one of the more sarcastic people you'll ever meet. Um, I had to learn it. Like everything about my social interactions and dealing with people, more or less, was trial by fire. Just having to figure out what
Yeah.
works, what didn't work, and you know, it's been a time.
It's definitely been a crazy time to say the least, especially with everything that you went through. And first of all, before I even do continue on, I want to say this: I am proud of you for everything that you went through to be able to get to where you are, because you are an incredible fighter. You show it out there in the cage. You show how awesome of a person you are, especially with the stories that you're sharing. So I definitely do enjoy get a chance to talk to you, get a chance to let you get a chance to share your stories. Because I told you once before
Yeah.
this interview started, it's like I want you to get a chance to let it out, feel comfortable, because there's a no judge zone. Because because nobody should never judge, especially with how much you have gone through to get where you are today.
Yeah, and it's a big reason why I'm like all up in this because I want to be the role model I didn't have when I was younger. There were
Yeah,
no autistic role models out there. Hell, I didn't even know about Dr. Temple Grandin until I was like probably 23.
yeah,
So, I don't want other autistics to be like, oh, there's nobody I can relate to, because all my heroes were honestly fictional. They're all from anime. So, and then and of course, my mom and dad were my heroes too. But like, I didn't have autistic role models to like a spot look up to and see their struggles and like have some hope for the next day.
yeah.
So I want to be that.
And you know what? The thing is that I want to give you the floor because I know that there's something that I know you want to tell people that for those who are autistic or for someone who is currently mentally struggling, yo tell I want you to tell them how much this sport means to you and how much they can learn, especially with how much you are doing right now, especially as an autistic person. I mean, the floor is yours. I'm gonna give you the full screen, and
Thank
this
you.
is this is all on you.
Okay. Well, being autistic and growing up autistic is hard, but it doesn't necessarily define everything that's going to happen in your life so far. Throughout your struggles, throughout everything, like I never imagined I would leave Philadelphia and be out here and be a professional fighter. Life has its way of making things a bit better in time. Everything we throw out in the universe will come back to us. Like I never thought I'd be a teacher and be a leader for kids. So for me, as an autistic, all I told myself was just one foot in front of the other. It was a story my mom told me about how she had to walk all the way home in the snow after a medical procedure because she was all she had. And I don't want anybody to feel alone. So I can be that guy to let people know just one foot in front of the other and to reach out to people and find your tribe to be supported. That's like the biggest thing I can get out there because life is lonely, but it doesn't have to be lonely. Fighting has given me a home. It's given me friends all across the world, you know, and it's something, I really wish I had as a kid, but now I get it all back to me tenfold being a fighter. So, I mean, even if you don't ever fight, go train, go have a community, go have people who will literally fight for you if they have to. It's not a bad thing to have at all. It's better than it's better than, going in there going like, oh man, can I talk to this person? Can I not? You have a perfect icebreaker just training and being there with your friends and your teammates.
That is very, very awesome. And yeah, I think you're definitely going to be a huge role model to everyone out there. And of course, real quick before we continue on, if you guys want to get a chance to follow her, get a chance to follow her at Serena Southpaw on Instagram because I'm telling you, this woman is amazing. I think you have another comment, so give me 1 second. Oh, hey, there's our great friends. Lefty Power from Mom's Basement. We definitely do appreciate you stopping by. Hey, like I said before, make sure you guys head on over to Mom's Basement MMA on Instagram, Mom's_Basement MMA. They just got done doing some incredible interviews. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a
They're
great
a
one.
fun bunch. I like them.
They told me so much about you. So yeah, they were the ones that said whenever I was looking for interviews, I was like, Do you have any other any ideas on who you want me to have on to the Streamer Studios? They're like, get Serena. You're gonna love her. And I'm like, bet. So immediately, like about 2 minutes, I messaged you, and then you agreed. I'm like, hey, I got the interview. I got her. But
I
shout
like
out
to
to
be a people person as I can. It's like I aspire to almost be like the Tyson Fury, but in MMA, like the female Tyson Fury. Just be cool with everybody, beat some ass, and then just crack jokes. Like minus everything that's happening across the world right now. Normally on my IG, everybody knows I have the memes. Like
yeah.
I'm a
Oh yeah.
little stressed out because I have my friend who just fled the Ukraine on foot was fleeing the Ukraine on foot right now. So I've been a little stressed out for obvious reasons. Just
Yeah.
hoping her and her family's okay.
Yeah.
But, but other than that, like I post top tier games. They are quality.
Well, Joe, the one final thing I want to get a chance to ask you is, looking back on this journey, what has been the best part about it?
The best part, I can be a leader. My siblings love MMA. Like my youngest brother, who is an absolute giant, wants to fight. He wants to embark on his own amateur MMA career. He is now 18, so once high school is over, he's like, I'm dedicating myself to training. And it warms my heart that because this kid has watched me since he was like 5, 6, watched me through my amateur career. He came out when I won my amateur championship in front of 17,000 people.
Wow.
So welcome to Tough Enough's Pack the Mac. It's a huge event, and
Wow.
it was great. So to know that me fighting has even such an impact like that, it really means a lot. Like fighting has given me purpose. Like I said, it's given me a home. It's given me, you know, a way to enjoy life, because I cannot see myself sitting in front of a desk my entire life. Like I gave it a go. It was awful. So it's freeing. Fighting for me is freedom.
That that is definitely awesome. That was definitely awesome to say the least. So I told you you have a couple of fan questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Two of them came from Mom's Basement MMA. So so
Go.
so the first one that they wanted me to ask you is, can Chuck Norris really divide by zero?
I mean, if we divide by zero, that kind of counts as two atoms touching. So wouldn't the universe implode? I mean, that's kind of where I'm going with this.
That's what I'm thinking about as well, to say the least. And the fact that they sent me this question: if a vampire bites another vampire, what would happen?
In mythology, there are actually stories of vampires who feed on other vampires. So, that vampire would die. So we have that going on.
And of course, we have your Godzilla question, and it is: which version of Godzilla do you like better?
I liked Godzilla and the Heisei series of things because obviously, the Showa era was really nice, and it had the technology for its time. But like the Heisei era, just you can never ever go wrong. If people want to catch me, they have to say, "Hey, Serena, I'm putting on Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla."
Yeah.
You will never hear me say, "No, thank you. I don't want to watch Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla." My ass goes right in the seat.
Another question is: do you have a favorite video game you're currently playing right now?
I did just beat Far Cry 6, and it was actually pretty fun. It was a different spin on what I'm used to in Far Cry games. It was more of a sneaky type of gaming, and I'm the type of person stealth is only when no one lives to tell the tale. So, um, other than that, I'm like trying to save up my money so I can buy Vikings, not Vikings Valhalla, that's the show. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because it has my love of Vikings and it has my love of Assassin's Creed in there.
You,
But
I'm glad you just said that. I'm now dropping crap, but I'm glad you just now said this because
oh, nice.
I
Yeah, that's what's up. Because I loved Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I also love Greek mythology, so I was like all up on that. No matter like I dunked like almost 100 hours into that game. It's ridiculous.
I
And,
remember.
I love
Go ahead.
open world games so much because I can do whatever the hell I want, pretty much.
Yeah,
So fingers crossed. Now that Obsidian got bought out by that one company, why am I spacing on its name? By Xbox, that will
yeah,
have a new Fallout New Vegas like remaster edition or just a new Fallout that's good. Period. You
yeah.
know. So
Um, well, for me, as far as like the game I'm currently playing, especially like since it's kind of like open world type stuff, I'm currently been playing Pokemon Legend Arceus. That has been a lot of fun.
okay, is it good?
That it is good. It is really really good. So it's pretty much way different than any other Pokemon game because you don't have to really worry about like certain towns or anything. You don't have to have
Okay.
like the little cutscene where they go to the
All
battles.
the way through every single city just to get to what I want. Okay, good.
Yeah, and of course they let you have like certain Pokemon for like certain things, like for like you get a Sneasel for the climbing, you get a lot of different stuff. So
Oh, that reminds me of another game I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch. I'm playing Monster Hunter Stories too, The Wings of Ruin, and it's like that too. Like, because I love Monster Hunter as well. Like in the traditional Monster Hunter, you're supposed to slay or capture the monsters, but
yeah,
in this case, to have all those type of monsters, you can use them for each part in the map. Like, yeah, you have a certain, like you were just saying, how Sneasel climbs vines. You have a certain monster that has the power to climb vines. You have another one that allows you to coast in the water to get to unaccessible places. Another one that does. So yeah, I get it.
yeah. Oh,
That's
it's so
cool.
incredible. They also have a fish for you to get a chance to use to get a chance to go to wherever you need to go. I forgot what
Yeah.
so it's a lot of fun. I kind of wish to use Gyarados for something special because Gyarados is one of my all-time favorite Pokemons. But I'm just gonna keep it to myself to say the least.
I actually really Gyarados is up there. I like Arcanine also, and I love Blastoise because I've ever since the beginning I've always been a Squirtle I always loved Squirtle. So Blastoise,
Oh,
like Charizard, I always thought because I used to watch the cartoons as a kid, I thought like Charizard was always a dick, and I never liked him. But like Bulbasaur was cool, but I just couldn't get behind the Venusaur transformation. Like it was a dinosaur with a flower. At least like freaking Blastoise has the damn water cans are going to like push you to the next continent or some shit.
at least like that. I mean, but when it comes to the Charmanders, it's like
Hey,
it's really different.
fuck
Just
Charmander. Like I said, he turned to Chameleon, he turned to Charmeleon, and then he turned to Garrett. I mean, not Garrett. He turned to Charizard. And he started acting like a dick. I'm like, dude,
that.
but when he acted right, it was better. But the damage was done. I was just like, I'm squirt that and the Squirtle firefighting gang, in that
Oh,
in the anime. Like that's what's
oh.
up. Like pull out the shades. I'm like, damn, Squirtle's a player. He knows what's up. He's a whole ass pimp.
I just be glad I didn't pull out the Rattata Funko Pop, probably the one of the
Oh
ugliest
god.
things you ever see, or the Mr. Mime one. It's creepy as well.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mime creeped me out as a kid, like on God.
Well, I mean, Mr. Mime in that movie that they was released, Detective Pikachu, was a little bit creepy as crap.
Yeah.
I was
Oh my God. Seeing that live action, I'm like, I don't know, man. This is weird. But at least the Mr. Mime was funny.
I mean, at least, I mean, I think as far as like like the real life ones I've seen from Detective Pikachu, the creepiest one was Gengar. Gengar looked so
Oh,
creepy.
Gengar's my bro. I love the Gengar gang.
Ugh.
No, because I have to understand. In like the original Pokemon, like who was the ghost type leader? Sabrina.
Serena,
And
yeah.
and she didn't have any friends except the ghost. I'm like, you know what? That's cool. The ghost wanted to be cool with her and be friends. That's awesome. So Gengar and his crew are bros.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is we're getting ready to have the next gen of Pokemon games get ready to be released in the summer. So
So, like, I know about to show my age. 'Cause I'm still like tripping. We have all these Pokemon. I'm thinking, oh, we're just gonna stay at the original 150, and then it's like, ooh, and I'm like, oh my god.
I would tell you this is like, and I hate to even admit this, I literally have like almost every single Pokemon game for the Switch. I mean, hang on, and
Hey,
I'll
that's what's up. I have Pokemon Shield. That's all I got so far, and almost all my Pokemons are named after like different like kaiju and stuff. Like it's fun. Like not
when
even
people
kaiju from the Godzilla universe. I'm talking about kaiju also from like Pacific Rim and stuff. I fucking love Pacific Rim.
well, I think whenever people watch this, they're like, "Aren't they supposed to be doing anything?" But we're having a little bit of nerd talk here. This is the only chance we get a chance to have some nerd
Hey,
talk. But I'm gonna show you this before we get a chance to have your final comments. But I am that nerd to where I have this. Uh,
let's go. That's
oh,
awesome.
it's definitely one of my favorites. Because not only that, we also see the Bulbasaur and of course the
Oh,
Charmander.
oh, that's perfect because it matches. Oh
Yeah,
God, the color scheme matches perfect.
oh yeah, it definitely does match, and it's definitely awesome to say the least. Serena, I've been having so much fun to get a chance to talk to you. Is there any final comments that you want to share before we get a chance to hop off?
I just want to put a big thanks out there to, my team, my peoples over at Extreme Couture and, my people over at Legend MMA, like Marvin Eastman, David Jordan, and also like Eric Nixick has been an absolute blessing. Like he is a really good guy, and it's finally nice to have coaches who care about you. And, not that Pyle and I've had others coaches that care before, but I just feel really, really welcome every time I step into the doors of Extreme Couture too. And I don't have to deal with this whole nonsense of like, oh, you have to choose me as a coach or you're going elsewhere. It's just like, it's nice because I'm here to do my best as a fighter, rep
Yeah.
the team, that I'm with that treat me well. And like I said, just vibe with have good vibes with everybody in my surroundings, Life's too short for nonsense. Life's too short to cause problems. I have enough energy. I already am tired enough being myself. I don't have an extra energy to create a persona or some nonsense. So
And also, I definitely do want to get a chance to appreciate you to take time out of your busy schedule and get a chance to join me because, this was an interview I wanted to get a chance to have, especially after I get a chance to know so much about you. You're definitely a genuinely incredible person. I wish nothing but the best for you. You're going to do incredible things, and I hope we get a chance to see you out there fighting. I hope you guys
fingers
get a chance to.
crossed.
I'm crossing my fingers there, honey. I'm crossing my fingers. But once again, if you guys want to get a chance to follow Serena, make sure you guys follow her at Serena Southpaw. And of course, to get a chance to follow her, go chance to check out her previous fights on YouTube. And I'm telling you, this woman is an amazing fighter in the cage and outside of the cage.
Thank you. And thank you again for having me on.
It's definitely an honor. I'll say this because I do this every time. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to get a chance to have you on. But
I'm just a regular person who likes to throw hands at people for money. It's okay.
oh,
I'm
oh
all
yeah. I'm not the one that want to throw hands now because I already know I'll lose immediately in a heartbeat.
no, dude, sock and boppers like back in the 90s. Love that was fun. I'll
Oh,
be all right.
those
Sock
were
and
fun.
boppers, sock and boppers. It's just to make a pillow fight.
Oh my gosh, the
Still
'90s
remember
kid
the
is.
jingle. It's crazy.
Or don't forget about Bop It. Don't forget about Bop It. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
bop is still a thing to this day. So like, trust me, I haven't forgot about. It's just like this is why everybody is an anxious mess. I swear to God, it's all bop it.
Thanks, Bop It, for giving us the stress that you've given us.
Yeah, thank you to anxiety.
Thank you for the amount of anxiety that we had as a kid to now. I mean, that's just so great.
Right?
Uh, but wait, well, I'll let you go. I hope you have a great one. I will send you the link to this if you want to get a chance to check it out afterwards. All right.
Thank you. I would love that.
All right. I'll definitely talk to you later then.
All right. See ya.
See ya. Be careful.
Will do.
All right. That was Serena, who was incredible. It was definitely an honor to get a chance to have her a part of the interview. Definitely had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys got a chance to as well. And of course, once again, and I'm going to put it back up there. Make sure you guys get a chance to follow her at Serena Southpaw on Instagram, of course, other social media platforms. It was definitely awesome and very cool to say the least. But yeah, that will do it here, ladies and gentlemen, from our interview up inside the Streetbar Studios. Don't forget tomorrow, Savannah Graham is going to be joining me, and I cannot wait. It's going to be incredible, and it's going to be very fun to get a chance to have her. But hey, don't forget about the Jay and Trey podcast tomorrow at 10 a.m. on YouTube, TNC Sports Talk. Make sure you guys search it up and subscribe. Big shout out to Mom's Basement MMA one more time for this interview. Definitely do appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. So we had a lot of fun. But until then, y'all, I am Jake. Be sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock for Savannah Graham.